And sets another day. Billions will kneel and pray. Anything to aid escape from the world so cold and gray. We have no need to compromise. We should keep our eyes on the prize.
That's a good one.
Well, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Bones and Tubs.
Welcome back. Number 10.
I think it's number 10.
Double digits.
We're in double digits now. Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyways, lots happened since we recorded last. I mean, it was just last week, but, we have a new president, 45th president of the United States, and some of you out there may not be too keen on that.
Some of you might be dressed as vaginas.
Yeah. He's our president now. So, until he fucks up really bad or 4 years is up, not much you can do about it, really.
If you want to hear the real story and not get upset by baseless lies, just wait for me to start bitching about it, because I'm going to be keeping my finger on the pulse of that.
Oh, definitely.
Situation.
But he already, a lot of people are already mad about this. Me, I'm kind of meh, but he canceled a interest rate lowering for the FHA that actually would have affected me, and I don't know if it affected you or not, but we would have paid less on our mortgages. Which, the thing is, it's not like it's raising our mortgages. We're just paying the same amount.
Yeah.
Right. It didn't lose me any money.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
you're not any worse off.
Yeah, I'm not any worse off. But I mean, I guess that's kind of shitty. But I mean, there has to have been an ulterior motive to that. I mean, something had to have happened to make us pay less for our mortgages. That's all there is to it.
I do like that. The first couple days that went in there, Mad Dog Mattis fucking let off the chain and just bombed the dog shit out of ISIS.
Dude, 31 sites.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Outlaw Morgan on Facebook posted a thing about it. Like, said 31 or 32 sites, and he said ISIS turned into was.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking legit.
Oh, definitely. Before we get real started today, I just wanted to say that a friend of ours, a friend of the show, I know he had at least listened to a couple episodes, took his life this last weekend, and we just wanted to I know it doesn't seem like much, but I would like to dedicate the show to him, I think, and to the notion that, anybody listening out there knows that if you're feeling a certain way, talk to somebody.
Give us a call.
You give me a call. We got a Facebook page. If you want to message me, I will talk to anybody if they're feeling blue, man. I don't care.
That's what we're here for.
Exactly.
Friends have to look out for friends.
You never know what's going on in somebody's head, but if you're feeling low, desperate, or bad, or something, it could always be talked out. It doesn't have to be like that.
Right.
I just wanted to say that real quick before we got started.
We miss you. We love you. You giant, beautiful teddy bear of a man.
Yeah, you big vanilla gorilla.
I do remember the one of the times we went out together at T-Birds. He convinced me of the ultimate tastiness of T-Birds has these potato skins. And they're not like regular potato skins. They've got fucking pulled pork on top of them.
Oh, shit.
And he talked me into it. It was life-changing. And then we sat there and joked about things, and it was a great time. He was a great individual.
He was he's one of those types that if you were with him, you knew he had your six.
All the time.
And it made the place we were at feel safer. I'm going to miss you, but
hopefully he's rocking out some sort of angelic Harley.
I imagine he's on some, Harley with wings, and he's, of course, his sleeves have been cut off his shirt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he's just, he's jamming, drinking some beer.
He's riding that angelic Harley through the sky, and the tailpipes are issuing clouds in the form of an American flag.
Exactly. This one's for you. We hope y'all enjoy it.
Never forgotten.
Yeah.
We love you.
But then, yeah, so
before we move on, can I read Joey Coco Diaz's fucking Twitter from yesterday?
Go right ahead.
I know it's Tuesday you might be hearing this Monday. I don't know what you're up to out there. But let's pretend it's Monday and you're starting out the week and everybody knows how much Monday sucks.
Yeah.
Joey Diaz started out the week and said, "It's Monday. You're showing up with a big gluten-free cock and a new attitude. Who's better than you?"
Oh.
Everybody should follow Joey Coco Diaz on Twitter and just...
Oh, he's a delight.
He's great.
He's like that, and he's like, the things that I've seen him do on his Periscope are,
illegal for some.
Illegal for some, but it's just...
A way of life for others.
It's the magnitude at which he does it.
Oh, for sure.
That impresses me. But anyways, well, yeah, we got a new president, like I said. And, there was a big march on Saturday. No, hold on. Let me try it.
Yeah.
Huge march on Saturday.
Huge.
Yeah, see, I can't do the Donald Trump yet. You're going to have to give me some time on that one.
It takes practice.
Oh, I bet you it does. Let me try again. Huge. Is it like that? Like...
Listen. I feel like my eyes automatically turn into buttholes.
It's like, it's like when you have to do a Robert De Niro impression and you do the Robert De Niro face as you're doing it.
Yeah. It's a nice fucking pen.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been to marches. Some of the best marches. The biggest marches. It was huge.
But, I mean...
I tell you, not a lot of people can predict Donald Trump's activities, but I tell you the one thing I guarantee it. The first thing he did when he got into the White House is he pounded out his wife on Abraham Lincoln's bed.
You know he did.
That bedroom, I don't care how well they clean it, and change the curtains and all that, but I'm sure of one thing, and that if you turn the black light on in that room, it's glowing.
Yeah. Well, oh, definitely.
Pow.
But, like I said, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I've never been too optimistic about him because, he doesn't really have any friends in Washington. I mean, he spent his inaugural address talking shit about him.
Down dressing them all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, whilst the most powerful of them sit right behind him, he talks shit.
Right.
Like, you know what? At least at the end of the day, I could say that motherfucker has balls.
Yeah.
Big, fat fucking balls.
I'm not mad at him.
No.
I'll tell you one thing, too. I wasn't excited about Obama in either of his, inaugurations, but I didn't fucking try to shut the street down or catch limos on fire.
Yeah.
I also didn't target, I saw Black Lives Matter targeted white women as they were getting off the subway. The police stood down because they didn't want to escalate the situation, is what they said on Facebook Live. But they attacked a white woman in a wheelchair because that's what's wrong with America.
Well, and you know what the problem is with the rioting and looting and whatnot is that it only furthers his cause that much more.
Right.
By doing that. Because, like, average folks see that stuff and it just, like, reinforces their notion as to why they voted for him in the first place.
Right.
Because, I mean, he even mentioned in his speech, American carnage.
Yeah.
I think we're all tired of seeing it.
We are. Let's fucking... I don't know. Let's grow up.
Yeah.
I will say this, though, because I like to play devil's advocate. It's probably one of my top 3 favorite things.
Yeah.
But, we all know, after reading the Gunslinger series, you're on your way through it.
Yeah.
Stephen King has his finger on the pulse of 0 point information.
Yeah.
He's pulling these stories out of somewhere. And, Dead Zone comes to mind.
Oh, dude. Oh, my God.
The only thing that I could say, though, is, like, he's not... I picture, when I'm reading Dead Zone, that the evangelical Bible salesman, psychotic, soon-to-be president, is actually Ted Cruz. Or like... See,
yeah, and even Stephen King, back when, like, during the primaries, when you had Donald Trump and Ted Cruz and all of them going against each other, Stephen King, out of all of that group of men, zeroed in on Ted Cruz and said, that is the most evil motherfucker running for president right now.
Sure, yeah.
Like, he's honed right in on fucking Ted Cruz and is like, fuck that dude. I mean, don't get me wrong, he probably is no fan of Donald Trump, but he was definitely like, fuck Ted Cruz.
Listen, fuck him. Yeah.
Like, fuck the Zodiac Killer.
For sure. I remember, the only thing that really, like, solidified my devil's advocate fear of Trump was the fact that they had that biker rally. All those bikers were coming to Washington.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking in my head of all these, like, presidential stops that this guy made in Dead Zone where the bikers were the Secret Service. And they're, like, beating the dog shit out of people.
Yeah.
But, he's not kicking dogs to death, probably. And he's not killed anybody with a nuke yet, so...
Yeah. Well, and, I will say one thing. Kudos to the Women's March that happened on Saturday, because as far as I know, there wasn't any violence going on.
No, I saw videos of them, like, high-fiving cops and stuff.
Yeah, it was a peaceful demonstration. And, like, in hindsight, like, at first I was kind of lightly confused about their purpose. But, I mean, here's the thing, and this is the thing I'll still point out is like they had this march, and I might be wrong in my assumption here, because they are fearful that things that women have been fighting for years will be taken away from them. So they've marched on the presumption that their rights were going to be taken away. Okay, let me just say one thing about that.
Ugh.
You're mad about the presumption of rights taken away when there are parts of the world, and mind you, let's just say this, just to get that out there, Hillary Clinton, in fact, took money from one of these said governments that represses their women.
Yeah. Hashtag Saudi Arabia.
And not a single multi-million person women's march happened over it.
Nah.
And they won't even let... Do they even let women... They let women drive, right?
I don't know, man. I doubt it.
I mean, like, let's put it like this. Let's take it down to the brass tacks. And I might be being culturally insensitive here. But they won't even let women not wear headgear.
Right. Yeah, you're probably getting beat your ass with a cane for not wearing your proper hijab.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. Like, I know I might be sounding culturally insensitive at that point, but, like, it's one thing, like, if your religion dictates it, but the state dictates it.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
So, like, when dignitaries go to Saudi Arabia, female dignitaries, they have to wear a hijab.
Yeah. Fuck off.
Like, I think, where was it at? They were going to have...
chess tournament.
They had a chess tournament in Iran.
Yeah.
And a bunch of high-profile female chess players refused to go because they said, fuck it, we're not wearing a fucking hijab.
No. I will say this, though, just to, put my point out there that, it was a nice, peaceful rally.
Yeah.
They came, they spoke their minds, and they didn't accomplish anything, just like mostly women never accomplish anything. It's just jokes.
Yeah, jokes.
Just jokes.
And, like, the other thing I have to say about the women's marches is that, other than Madonna saying she wanted to blow up the White House.
Yeah, that's fine, because that would go over well if either of us said that.
Yeah, right. So, there is that. But, and this isn't me, mind you. I read a lot, so I've been reading articles on multiple news websites, and a lot of journalists have been coming up with the same conclusions when it came to the Women's March. It is very closely akin to the Occupy demonstrations of yesteryear.
Yeah.
And you know what the problem was with the Occupy demonstrations? No focus.
Right. Aimless.
Aimless. Everybody has their own agenda, it's like I told my sister 2 days ago, and I don't know if she agreed with me on it. I said the reason Democrats lost is because they lack focus.
Right.
Trump at least was able to hone in on a few key issues and really just pound them.
That goes through every single thing, though, man. If you don't have laser focus on anything, you're not going to accomplish anything.
Like
that's in life. In your own life or any field of expertise, you can't be.
There's an internal war going on for the heart of the Democratic Party right now.
Yeah. Between
the moderates and the progressives, and they need to figure out who's gonna take the helm on this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like and beyond that, even the infighting, they still have to figure out how the hell they're gonna win back middle class white America.
Good luck with that.
That's all there is to it. But yeah, so my only advice to them is focus.
Yeah.
Hone in on what you really want.
Get together, have some meetings.
Now,
figure out what's really wrong with the country. Or the world.
And the only other thing I have to say about it is and a libertarian journalist put it best. She said she was going to go to the women's marches, but she opted not to because she believed that the women's march in D.C. was usurped by socialists.
Yeah.
Because socialists are now saying, and they're trying to win women's votes by saying this, that to be feminist, you must be socialist.
Show me anywhere in the world where a country of this size and magnitude, this many fucking people, has socialism and it worked. Because it's impossible.
Yeah.
It will not work.
Yeah.
You'll make everybody equal in the fact that you're all poor.
And we're all shit. What it would be for us is shared misery.
Yeah. Everybody's miserable.
Yeah.
I think that too, and I could be wrong, but I feel like when I put my finger inside of that deep dark hole of human psychology, it's because people have the same problem that they project through these groups like Occupy, where they show in their activities that they lack focus, they lack the ability to concentrate, they lack the ability to have a purpose, and therefore they just ramble on and show their anger and aimless rage at things that they can't control.
Yeah.
Get your fucking life together.
Yeah.
Read a book. Get your purpose. Get that focus up from a shitty 1980s flashlight down to a brand new laser beam.
Some need a heavy dose of realism too.
Fucking A.
Or like, how about the fact, another thing that pissed me off is that the march that was supposed to happen when they started organizing it, they had women from all walks of life coming together who didn't like Donald Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
They ended up kicking out, like, a week or two before the march, a group of women from Texas it was a feminist pro-life group.
Mm-hmm.
And they kicked them out because they said, no, the Women's March is about pro-choice.
Didn't they have ones, too, that were kicked out because they were white?
Well, they initially criticized the Women's March because when it started out and started gaining momentum, the entire, like, board, like, the leaders were all white. So, like, we had to put a stop to that.
Oh, my God. I'm just done with it, man. We're ready to move forward. Shit.
But yeah.
Shit the bed.
So, it's just like, and the pro-life group still went to D.C., and they still marched.
Yeah.
And they got spat on, and they got called out, and they got screamed at. They're still women.
Right.
You know, but, okay, that's all I wanted to say about that. You know, I just wanted to catch up on what was going on.
In the real world.
Yeah. Now on to our main topic of the day.
I'm going to grab one of these Sprite cans real quick.
That's fine. Today's topic comes from our, you know, higher being of light, angel, goddess lady, Catherine Doherty. We got to come up with a real title for you because you keep giving us just all this magic.
Definitely need to come up with some kind of XP program where we send her a level up every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like she levels up every time we use one of her topics. But
she's like a level 42.
She sent us 2 topics this week, and we're going to talk about both of them. But we wanted the main one to be this one that she sent us, and that was curious about your opinions on the Waco incident. Was the raid lawful, poorly executed, and the cause of many needless deaths, or was it justified? Well, we're going to answer all those questions, but I think for our audience, in case nobody's like, you know, if they're not hip to it or they just don't know enough about it, give a quick recap on the events of Waco, and then we're going to answer those questions, at least to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
Okay, so, for those of you that don't know, when we refer to Waco, we're not referring to the town, we're referring to the incident that happened in the town.
Right.
And this is back in 93, correct?
Yeah.
Right around, actually, it happened right around the Lucasville siege. And it kind of trumped, like, the news medias were more interested in the Waco siege than the Lucasville siege.
It's neat.
Basically what happened is you had this group called the Branch Davidians, and they lived on a compound called Mount Carmel. And they were a branch off of a different group of Davidians that, like, were once part of the Seventh-day Adventists. And they were, like, I'm not going to say they were extreme, but they were, like, heavy on the revelation shit. Like, they were, like, they believed the world was ending.
Yeah.
And they were trying to tie, like, things that were going on around them to the biblical end of times.
Right.
But,
what better way to disprove that than by getting slapped down by the government?
Exactly. You know, it was initially run by one guy, and he ended up passing. And then, ultimately, Vernon Worrell, who ultimately changed his name to David Koresh, took control of the Branch Davidians. This was in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they lived in the community, and, you know, they weren't really, like, nobody really complained about them or anything like that. But they ran a gun business, basically, to supplement money for their group, because this was, like, a big commune. It was a compound, multiple families, all that stuff. And they had a gun business called Mag Bag.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, so they were buying lots of gun parts and putting guns together to take to gun shows and sell them to make money for the compound. And they got the attention initially of the ATF. And across the road from where their compound started, the ATF rented out a house and put some undercover agents in it that claimed they were college students.
Yeah.
Now, let's just put this right there. The Branch Davidians ultimately figured out they weren't college students because, one, they were like in their 30s.
They didn't keep a schedule.
They didn't keep a schedule.
At all, yeah.
And they all had brand new cars.
And none of them, from what I read before, none of them were even registered at a school.
Exactly. So, like, they were doing really shitty undercover work. It all started when there were reports that they had heard machine gun fire on the property, and they had seen that recently they had been buying the lower receiver to AR-15s, a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So they went to get a warrant, and what they did is they actually used information concerning a man that was in the group who ultimately left, that was supposedly making methamphetamine. But that was like 5 years prior, and he had already left. But they still claimed that they were making drugs on the compound to justify getting a warrant to go in there and find. Basically, they were trying to find the guns.
Yeah. They had a history, though. Like, they were cordial with the community.
Yeah.
They were known to come to these gun shows that they had, and they always had proper paperwork. Mm-hmm. So for them to start scratching around to say that it was illegitimate,
they were always above the board,
right?
Like in their paperwork. Like that's the thing. Like,
did they ever prove that they had any illegitimacy going on, other than what they could have dropped at the scene? Because let's be honest here, anybody that watches Waco footage or looks into the citizen journalist aspect of it will show you that they were up to some fuck shit.
Oh yeah, I mean
they were not. The ATF was not on board with the law that day.
No. So basically what happens is they get this search warrant and they go in to serve it. You know, this isn't your regular knock on the door situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They go in with ladders. They go in with equipment to basically, like, to breach. Somebody started opening fire. Now, to this day, there is still dispute over who started shooting first. There are Davidians who claim that the ATF started shooting first when they started shooting the dogs that were on the compound. And that's when the gunfire started. And they actually went to the front door, and the ATF claims that the Davidians opened the door and started firing on them. Evidence went the other way on that one.
Yeah.
They proved that if anything, at best case scenario, they started returning fire at the same time, or the ATF started firing first.
Yeah, and they were in self-defense.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's not to say that the Davidians weren't armed.
Right.
It's not to say that Davidians didn't have guns.
Thankfully, that's not against the law yet.
Yeah. Okay. And let me just put this, because it sounds like I'm going heavy on the government right now. I'm just going to put this out there, just so it's said. David Koresh was a weird motherfucker.
Right.
Okay. He, had multiple wives. Supposedly, some of them were underage. He thought he was Jesus.
Well, I mean, we love Muslims today in society, and these are things that were touted by their
That's
Messiah.
True. Yeah.
I don't understand.
I mean, the dude thought he was the second coming. I'm not going to try to, I'm not going to try to, sugarcoat anything on this. Let's just say what it is. The dude thought he was Jesus.
Yeah.
He thought he was the second coming. And I think that was one of the reasons they went in there, because they had heard claims of child abuse. Mm. So they wanted to check it out. Okay, so firing starts happening. The ATF, I think they lost 4 initially.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 were killed. And there's a video that you guys can find out there. And this is where, all the real fucky shit happens. And I just watched this video again before we started the episode. And basically what happens is ATF's on the roof. They break a window out. What was it? 3 agents went in?
3, yeah.
3 agents go in. The last agent walks up to the window, drops something in there. You see gunfire start coming through the walls.
In the room that the agents just walked in.
The room the agents just walked in. And then you see that same agent return fire not once, but twice.
And not even look in the room. He was just blankly firing a fully automatic weapon into a room that his coworkers
just climbed into. I mean, there's no gap in this. They walk in there, he fucking starts blasting. So, yeah.
It's not safe. It's not a good idea. Unless, of course, you are an ATF agent under the employ of the CIA, and your job is to create wet work.
Exactly.
Kill your own in order to make what you did justified.
Yeah. So that's out there. You guys can look that up.
Yeah.
The fucking ATF more than likely shot his own people. I can't say that with a shadow of a doubt because you can't see those said agents getting shot, but you know they returned fire on them.
Right, and it wasn't, I mean, it's not like they went into the room, he waited 5 to 10 minutes for them to clear the room, and then the agent looked in and saw there were Davidians in there, and he decided to fire on them. They literally climbed in the room, he threw in a grenade, whether it was a lethal grenade or a stun grenade, we don't know. And then he fired into the room aimlessly, the way you would use cover fire. Fully automatic fire at the backs of his comrades.
Yeah. So, all this happens, and then the ATF retreats away from the compound. At this point, the FBI takes over, because there's been federal officers shot. So, that same day, the Davidians allow the agents to collect the bodies of their dead, and begin talking to the Davidians and David Koresh. And a few years ago, I did an extensive view of supposed transcripts between David Koresh and a negotiator. Mm-hmm. And that's where I came to my conclusion. David Koresh is a nut.
Yeah. If
you watch the transcripts, he's a fucking lunatic. But, they weren't, the FBI wasn't wanting to play ball with them, really.
Right.
I mean, the FBI wanted the children out. That was their main prerogative, was getting the children out. At least initially.
There some kind of fuckery where the federal government was upset with them due to them not wanting to pay taxes, or them saying that they had rights that were superseded the government of the United States.
I'm sure there's something like that because they're a religious sect. But
Because if I was a tyrannical government and I wanted to end, let's say there's a bad example of freedom going on down in Waco, Texas, I'm not going to defend child fuckery.
yeah,
If that was going on, fuck all of them. But that's the first thing I would throw on a group of people that I wanted to demonize, is that they're raping children.
that's true.
And that they're harming them, because then the public's automatically behind you.
Yeah. So
But I don't know.
okay, so and at this point, they've removed the bodies. David Koresh was injured in the initial gunfire, and he makes contact with David Koresh makes contact with CNN and gives an extensive interview. He then calls a local radio station, gives an extensive interview, and then the FBI cut his phone lines.
Oh, that's good.
So that they couldn't contact the outside world, and the only people they could make contact with was the FBI.
Yeah, let's not let the truth get out. Let's craft our own version of the truth. That sounds about right.
And these negotiations and stuff went on. Now they got people out. I think 30 some odd people, maybe more. They negotiated them to come out.
Was that before or after the FBI and the ATF started fires?
That was before.
Okay.
That shit happened at the very end.
Yeah.
Okay, so they get some people out, and this siege goes on for 49 days. 51 days. 51 days.
Yeah.
Okay, the siege goes on for 51. The standoff goes on for 51 days.
Damn.
Okay, we're talking about negotiations the whole time. At one point, David Koresh wanted to get a message out there, and they in fact did it, and it was in negotiation to get more children out. This went on for 51 days, and finally, Janet Reno, and with permission from Bill Clinton, decided that they were going to do a full-fledged siege of the compound. Claimed they were using CS gas, which is tear gas,
right,
to make them flush them out of the compound. They had these big AEV tank thingies that they would puncture the walls with and shoot CS gas in, right?
Yeah.
And they claimed nothing was incendiary.
Except for the incendiary device inside the CS gas can.
Exactly. And they found out, they claimed for years.
They said 6 years they lied under oath that they even used CS gas.
Yeah. They lied and said they used nothing that was pyrotechnic whatsoever. And then, come to light, they lied. Because they found evidence of pyrotechnic CS gas grenades inside the burnt husk of the compound. But, so they supposedly breached with CS gas. And then 3 separate fires happen almost simultaneously in just different parts of the compound and begin to burn.
Completely unrelated fires.
Yes. Now, the federal government to this day will contend that they could have left that building at any given time. Mm-hmm. That there was no impeding the movement outside the building if they wanted to escape. But nobody did.
Right.
Well, no, 9 did. 9 got out. And the rest died. And that was 7 altogether through the first raid, through the siege, and through the end. 80 Branch Davidians died. And most of them died in the fire. 76 of them were in the fire.
Yeah.
And this included children. I think they said there was at least, I want to say 15 to 20 children under the age of 14. We're talking babies.
Yeah.
Died. And, it was bad.
The United States government killed those babies in self-defense.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, the big contention amongst most people, is who started the fires. Because Branch Davidians fought in court for years to prove they did not start the fires. And the government tried to say they did because the government had planted audio listening devices on the compound to try to record conversations, but you gotta remember the times. These recording devices are shitty.
Yeah.
And when they took these audio to court, they only got so many people, jurors and judges, to be convinced that the people inside the compound were saying what the FBI were telling people they were saying. Mm-hmm. The FBI will claim to this day that they recorded a conversation of them talking about how they were putting fuel in certain parts of the building.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but they only convinced so many people that's what they're actually saying because the recordings are so muffled and so hard to understand that most people couldn't know what they were saying.
Yeah.
Some people claim they did, but we can go back to a really good. You could look suggested programming online and see that if you have a certain mindset and you have a person of authority telling you this is what's going on, this is what's being said, you'll believe them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Be easily pulled one way or the other.
And be told, yes, here's where they're saying that they're gonna dump fuel and kill people.
Really, they're screaming why are you shooting us? Why are you starting the fires?
Pretty much. So 3 fires started simultaneously. 9 got out. The rest died.
So the autopsy showed that most of the deaths occurred due to blunt force trauma from the walls collapsing due to intense heat
and suffocating.
Right.
And there were some shot.
No problem.
And they claim the Branch Davidians did that themselves, mercy killings, as they're saying.
Sure.
Now, this whole thing reeks of fucking... I'm sorry, like, I mean, I know, like, it happened a long time ago, but this reeks of some seedy government shit going on.
Yeah, Janet Reno, the man.
Yeah.
The man behind the dress.
Let's go beat their asses.
I'll go in there and kill those fucking kids. Kill them. Bring me one of them.
So, to answer your questions, after we've divulged this whole thing, was the raid unlawful? Yes.
Yeah.
It was built on presumption.
Yeah, lies, presumption, and shitty fucking detective work.
They had no evidence. No real evidence that they were doing anything wrong.
So that's
in my
the
opinion,
definition of unlawful, right?
In my opinion, unlawful.
Yeah.
The government was trespassing on their property. Poorly executed? Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
It's one of the worst cases of government intrusion I've seen in my entire life.
They should have called it Operation Shit Show.
Yeah.
Because that's what it turned into.
Because, I mean, first of all, like, there were cult and religious experts who tried to, during the long standoff, trying to like get to the FBI and be like, we can get these people out if you let us talk to them.
Right.
Because we can convince them,
We
like,
speak
hey,
their language.
Yeah, we speak their language. We can convince them it's not the end of the world. Da-da-da-da-da. And the FBI turned them down.
Yeah, of course.
They wouldn't let them talk to him. What was it going to hurt when you had a 51 day standoff going on? What would it have hurt to get somebody on there that speaks their language?
Yeah.
To talk to them.
Try and talk them down.
At least convince more of them to come out.
De-escalate.
But no. Their tactics were, they did sleep deprivation on them.
Yeah.
Playing loud music, cutting power, cutting their water supply.
Everything you would do if you were actually trying to make an example.
Yeah. Torturing them.
Yeah.
More or less. I mean, it was torture.
It's fine.
On sovereign citizens.
Freedom.
Right? But yeah. Is it about time for the time warp?
It is.
Okay. Alright, folks. It's time for the time warp. We got a commercial coming up for you. And we're going to finish talking about Waco, because I feel like we've only scratched the surface on... Like, we've done more than scratch the surface, but we still got some bones to pick with this motherfucker. I'm not done yet. I mean, I don't know about you, but...
Not either. I'm never going to get tired of...
Yeah, but
government hate.
we got another topic on the other side of the show, but we need to finish Waco. But we got a commercial for you first from our newest advertiser.
I can't wait.
We hope you enjoy it.
We love you.
We really do.
Hey ladies, are you tired of the same old sex line with the same boring men? Then call us, Commanders-in-Chief. They'll make all your presidential wishes come true. We have all 44 former presidents just waiting for you to call them up. We have featured performers like Abraham Lincoln,
I'll emancipate you from your panties and put my log in your cabin.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt,
The wheelchair's for my third leg.
Gerald Ford,
I'll fall face first into that pussy.
Andrew Jackson.
Your panties will feel like the Trail of Tears after you feel my old hickory.
We also have something for you guys out there like Richard Nixon,
I'll suck a cock.
William Howard Taft,
Can you fit inside my bathtub?
Theodore Roosevelt,
I've got something the size of a bull moose for you.
and Grover Cleveland.
What the fuck am I doing here? I'm not like that.
Looking for something contemporary? Have a more modern taste? Then how about George W. Bush?
I'll make you go nuclear with my organ of mass erection.
Or maybe Slick Willie himself?
A cigar. You don't know the meaning of the word pain.
And introducing for the first time number 44 himself, Barack Obama.
Now, let me be clear. I hope you'll have to change your panties.
So call them up. Commanders-in-Chief is eagerly waiting to veto your clothes and send their jets of steaming hot executive action all over your body of politics. Just tell them, George.
We'll make you come every time. And you know I can't tell a lie.
That's a good book.
And we're back.
And we are back.
I hope you enjoyed that commercial.
I know I did.
Yeah, definitely.
My panties are moist.
I'm gonna have to, I might have to give a call and talk to Richard Nixon. Yeah. But yeah, so anyways, back to our subject of the day. We were talking about Waco, and I think we were kind of we had wrapped up the story, the narrative part of it, and we were just discussing the philosophical aspects of what had happened. Now, mind you, I think where we left off was they had burned down the facility, or somebody did. Now, I think this is where we're going to jump in today is, okay, so the compound burns down, and everybody's pointing fingers. The FBI and the agents there and the law enforcement there claimed that the Davidians were the ones who started the fires, and they had placed audio devices on the compound walls to record people inside talking, and claimed that they had audio of them talking about setting the fires. Now, here's the thing. I looked at the transcripts of that audio, and they may be talking about getting ready to set up fuel or something like that. They may not. Now, when this went to trial, the Branch Davidians were claiming that they didn't start the fires. The FBI played that audio. Now, half of the people that were listening to it heard them saying that they were getting ready to start the fires.
Yes.
The other half didn't. Now, what I akin to that is it's suggestive programming. Like, I mean, they've done studies on it before where, like, certain people, you could give them any gobbledygook jargon and tell them this is what's said, and they'll hear it because it's suggestive. The other half don't hear it because they're not as prone to suggestion as said individuals are. So you can chalk that up to however you want. But we do know that for years, the government, the FBI, and the Texas Rangers, and the National Guard all claimed they used non-incendiary devices inside the compound, which years later, come to find out, that was a lie. They used incendiary CS gas grenades to try to smoke them out. Now, these are grenades that actually burn at a heat, so they could very well cause a fire. The fact is that the government denied it for years, that they even used those devices, when in fact they found said devices in the rubble of Waco.
We didn't know they were going to fire start.
Yeah.
Liar.
So, that's the big question. Did they start the fires? We know that 76 souls lost their lives when those fires were started. The FBI claims to this day that they always had a means to get out, but later on they found out there was at least 24 people that perished because a wall collapsed.
Yeah.
So there was no means for them to get out.
No. I have a feeling, just my personal prejudice, but I think that they gave them a little bit of time in the beginning, maybe before all this started, to get out, and then they were like, let's make an example of these fuckers.
Well, yeah, I mean, they more or less, like, the way I read it, like, after that long standoff, certain powers that be were tired of it.
Yeah.
They were tired of it going on and on and on. And, I mean, to this day, like, as far as I'm concerned, like, when Janet Reno died recently, you know, even news reporters couldn't help but mention, after she died, like, they were talking about her accomplishments and things she did in her life, but none of them could fail to mention Waco, because it was one of the biggest fuck-ups in the government's history.
Yeah.
Like, even like, the official story is a fuck-up. It's all... They fucked up bad. That's all there is to it. I mean,
they were not success-oriented.
Like, and the worst part is, and this is going to be a segue into another bit, because we're kind of on a tear about government intervention. Waco was supposed to be retribution for Ruby Ridge.
Yeah.
And now we're going to segue into Ruby Ridge, and I'm going to let my partner fill you in on that one.
I love that people bring up topics that involve government suspicion and hatred, because it's one of my favorite topics.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I'm always driving the car, that's where we'd end up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to not drive the car there, but it ends up there anyway. Ruby Ridge, if everybody wants to take a trip in time back to August 21st, 1992 in Naples, Idaho, where that all went down. Years before, Randy Weaver and his wife decided that it was time to remove themselves and their family from city life, move out to a nice, beautiful mountain range where they could teach their kids whatever they wanted, homeschooling, Mm-hmm. People have mixed opinions on that, but they obviously saw that in their minds the government schooling system was all about, teaching 6-year-olds how to put a condom on a banana, and maybe they saw into the future of transgender bathrooms, trying to slick that mind pussy up, fuck those kids before they even have a chance to become adults. So anyway, they move out into the wilderness, and they were living out there probably 5 or 6 years before any of this went down, but they started to seek out other people in that area, and they found a white supremacist camp, like a summer camp, and they went there. They went there in the summertime, which, whatever, free association. I mean, it's your choice, whatever you want to do. They weren't the only ones that liked going there. There were other people that, they went and they didn't attend the rallies or, talk about the Zog machine. Those of you who are unaware of the Zog machine, it's the Zionist-occupied government, believing that the militant Jews are the ones that control everything, whatever.
Yeah.
Some of these people just like going there to hang out, because they had a legitimate, summer camp.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was looking at that, and even, like, when they talk, and when it comes to Ruby Ridge, they were talking to the families and the people that knew them, and they claimed that their association with the Aryan Nation or whatever was loose at best.
Right. They basically said that they didn't share any of their racial views, but that they did agree with them politically, that the government was a satanic piece of shit.
Yeah, which the thing is, the government being a gigantic piece of shit, just a side note real quick, isn't just something that, in the time we're talking about, it wasn't just a thing that white people were hip on. I mean, before Ruby Ridge, the one before that was the MOVE conflagration.
Yeah.
That was in Philadelphia. That was where cops used bombs on people.
That's fine.
Yeah.
They were bombs of love
but
and
not,
safety.
I just had to take that segue just to let everybody know that this wasn't just against white anti-government nationalists. This was against all types.
Oh, yeah, and you could even switch over a racial shade, in the kaleidoscope of humanity and look over in, I want to say Chicago. I didn't look this up, but this is just coming straight shooting from the mental hip. But the People's Nation was formed with government funding in Chicago, which then became a giant criminal gang.
Yeah.
All about, black pride. I mean, it was going on everywhere. But this one was actually, they were actually funded by the government.
Yeah.
The Weavers weren't the only ones that took an interest in that camp. The Feds apparently had decided that was something they were into. They wanted to get some informants in there.
Yeah.
They had one of these informants came up to Randy and was like, "Hey, you should be on our snitch payroll." And Randy was like, "Nah.
Yeah.
You guys are what's wrong with this country." Gave him a good what for. He alerted the camp security that they had already been infiltrated. They were trying to recruit others to do the same. After Randy declined their offer, he then became targeted by the federal government. A federal informant befriended the Weaver family, and he was considered by Randy to be a good friend for a number of years. You just imagine going to the gas station or whatever and having a chance encounter with an individual, and you end up becoming friends with them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Years later, he fucks your brains out.
Like, it was all intentional.
Yeah. He was planted there.
Good God.
So this guy was trying to get him over the span of a couple years to do, illegal things such as procure illegal firearms, fully automatic weapons. Randy Weaver said, "Nah, I don't have any access to all that." So he eventually conned him into altering 2 or 3 shotguns that he had. He wanted them to saw them off.
Which even that's alleged, because Randy Weaver to this day will claim he sold him shotguns, but not sawed-off shotguns.
Right, which, how hard is it to modify a shotgun?
Exactly.
Say that he did it.
Yeah.
So that guy disappears from their life, and shortly thereafter, the feds approach him and they say, "Hey, we got all this evidence on you modifying shotguns. We're going to charge you with several felonies unless you, bend the knee."
Yeah.
He said,
Kiss the ring.
Yeah. He said, "Nah, nope." Eat a dick. He was later indicted. He was arrested, and later the day of his arrest, he was released on bail. After releasing himself on bail, Randy's wife kindly informed the federal government via snail mail that Randy wouldn't be coming back. He was excused from gym class. He was not going to be participating in the day's events. And that if they came and they did not leave the Randy Weaver and family alone, they were going to water the ground around their cabin with the blood of tyrants. So we move on to Faye's ultra pissed.
Yeah.
The government doesn't like it when you don't help them, and then when you deny a court order, that really just amplifies things. So the feds responded. The Marshal Service had requested that the indictment be dropped against Weaver and refiled at a later date. That way he would drop his guard, and they could go in and take him without any incident. And, of course, the request was denied.
Yeah, like, whoever the judge was that they kept getting information from was a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like, even down to the fact that, like, he was supposed to appear for court, and they gave him the wrong date. And the day that, the real date that they did not give him, they did not give him that information. They charged him with failure to appear.
That's good.
And like 2-3 days later, Randy Weaver's lawyer went to the judge and said, "Hey, you gave me the wrong date, and I gave him that date." So he didn't know that he missed court. The judge was like, basically, I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, go ahead and,
I wear a robe.
Yeah, but he was like, fuck it. Go ahead with the failure to comply. And go after
I
him.
feel like, and this is just my opinion, but I feel like this is where you can start to see the signs of a setup, other than the fact that they already probably set him up with these shotguns. But after it was denied, these marshals were given orders, supposedly, not to engage the Weaver family, but to go onto their property and to observe and report.
It was supposed to be surveillance.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Even though they were heavily armed.
Yeah, they were like beyond just like, sidearms and whatnot. These dudes had...
They were dressed for wet work.
Yeah. They had snipers and all sorts of shit. They were ready to rock.
These guys were within a stone's throw of the cabin when the dogs alerted that there was somebody down there. So Randy Weaver's 14-year-old son and his buddy Harris go to investigate. His son had, I believe, a .22 rifle.
223.
223.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes down because they don't know. The dog's alerting to something. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And the fucking marshal, instead of announcing himself and saying, federal agents, drop your fucking weapon, they don't say shit.
They shoot the dog.
They shoot the dog. So this kid was like, what the fuck is going on? He shoots one of the marshals and then takes off running back to the house. As soon as he's running, another agent turns and drops the 14-year-old son.
Shoots him in the back. Let's re-emphasize that.
Right.
Shoots him in the back.
So you come onto their property with orders not to engage, allegedly. You're armed to the teeth. You don't announce yourself. Dog alerts. You shoot the dog. Kid sees dog get shot. Kid gets upset and freaked out. Shoots the threat. Runs away. You shoot the kid in the back.
Now, this is at the time, supposedly, when gunfire is traded. Little Sam Weaver fires a couple rounds. One of the agents claimed he said something like, "You shot my dog, you son of a bitch."
Son bitch.
And then proceeded to retreat back to his family's house, and they shot him in the back. Now, Harris, the other one with them, seeing all this, returned fire as well, and killed one of the agents.
As you should.
That's when the shit got fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Super, super stupid.
I read that the next day, I guess the craziness for that day stopped. They moved in more assets, such as, but not limited to, the hostage rescue team.
The same hostage rescue team that was involved with Waco.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but this was before Waco, mind you, so this is the prequel to Waco. So
Right.
to give you an idea of what the fuck is about to happen.
Hashtag time warp, we just Tarantino'd the shit out of their brains.
Exactly.
The next morning, Randy Weaver goes down to the shed where they had his son's body. The sniper, has Randy Weaver in sight. He's going to attempt to shoot him in the spine, severing it, one shot, one kill. And Randy Weaver moved at the last minute as the shot was fired, and instead of killing him, it goes through his shoulder, comes out his armpit.
Yeah.
The sniper then used his superior shooting ability and, law enforcement training to take scope on Randy's wife, and she was armed to the teeth with a fully automatic assault baby.
Yeah.
So then they shot her in the head. She drops, baby's covered in blood,
Yeah.
but the baby's unarmed, or
Mind
unharmed,
you,
rather.
this is a mother of 4.
Unarmed. Oh, yeah.
This is a mother of 4. A federal agent shot a mother of 4 in cold blood.
Yeah, as you should.
And, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I mean, what else is there to say about that?
Nothing.
He shot a woman in cold blood, a mother, holding her child.
We should also mention, I forgot to mention her name, Vicki Weaver.
Vicki Weaver.
Vicki Weaver comes to be very important here in this next little segue here. Over the next 10 days, 350 to 400 agents surround the Weaver's residence, the camp that they called Camp Vicki.
Yeah.
Do you know what they did at Camp Vicki for the
What
next
they
10 days? Every morning, they would wake up, the Weavers would wake up, and they would hear bullhorn messages coming from Camp Vicki, saying, "Vicki, come on out, we've got blueberry pancakes."
What the fuck?
So the kids in this house, Randy, and all these, everybody saw her get shot in the head. They've got her body under a blanket. The feds are the ones that killed her, and they claimed that they didn't know she was dead. So for the next 10 days, they tortured the family with messages to their dead mother.
God damn,
They
dude.
said, "Come on out, Vicky, we have blueberry pancakes." So there's that. And then, let's see here. We're almost at the end. The siege against the Weaver family was ended when one of Randy Weaver's commanding officers was brought in to act as a go-between.
Basically, like, if you remember First Blood, the first Rambo movie,
Yeah.
the only way that they got Rambo to come out was by getting his commanding officer to get him out of there.
Right.
And if you remember First Blood,
Yeah.
he did not draw it, god damn it.
No. You're right.
And the government was all on him because he was just a lonely Vietnam vet.
Exactly. So he comes in, he negotiates peaceful, submission to the government. Randy was then taken in and charged with the original. It ended up being like 10 charges. They dropped all but 2 of them. So he was given a $10,000 fine, 18 months.
Yeah. And then the other adult male that was still alive, Harris, was charged as well, but all of his charges were dropped.
Because the Department of Justice reviewed everything and said that he was shooting in self-defense.
Now, here's the part that gets me the worst, is, so the government fucked up bad.
Oh, yeah.
So they're trying to find out a way around this. Now, they really can't. The local county judge decides that he's going to charge that agent that shot Vicki Weaver and Randy Weaver, with manslaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It gets kicked up. People in the government come in. They're like, this isn't a case for you. They kick it up to the state.
Let's kick it up to our dudes.
Yeah, let's kick it up to our dudes. And the charges get dropped.
Magic.
So nobody, not a single goddamn one of them, served a single goddamn day for killing a mother of 4.
But they made it all better because each child was awarded $1 million. So that's $3 million. Randy Weaver was given $100,000. $100,000 is worth the price of your wife and your child.
Yeah, and your child.
And then the court system fought Harris. They said, we're never going to pay a guy who killed a federal agent. Well, guess what, motherfucker? You're wrong. They paid him $380,000. The end. Hashtag the government loves you.
Yeah. Don't ever, kid yourself on this. Don't ever believe, even now, even if you're a Trump dude, even if you're an Obama person, it doesn't matter. Don't trust the fucking government.
No.
Because you know what? They've never really had our best interests at heart, at least in the modern age.
No.
Look at Waco. Look at Ruby Ridge. Look at the MOVE conflagration. Look at Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
The fuck? They bombed them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. We can't kid ourselves in this. I mean, fuck. Look at even Japanese internment.
Yeah. But, that's fine. The government loves you. Pay your taxes. They actually, I need to look more into this for a later date, but if you guys YouTube Randy Weaver and start looking at some of the stuff he's been involved in here recently, they just called him for I want to say a court witness. They had a siege going on here not too long ago with Ed and Elaine Brown, who were under similar fuckery with the government.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, he owned his own business, this Brown guy, and he had withdrawn his federal income tax. He put it in escrow. So he had it. He had accounted for it. But he said, we're going to go to court over this. So when they charged him to come to court over non-payment of federal taxes, he said, that's fine. I've got it here. He showed the bailiff his balance was what was owed.
Yeah.
And he said, and plus fines and everything for non-payment. And he said, I'll pay it. I'll pay it right now and write you a check. All I need you to do, Judge, is show me a law that says I'm required to pay a federal income tax. And the judge said, you're going to pay the income tax. He would not produce. The lawyers talked. The prosecutor, they all got together and they were like, it's not that hard, motherfucker. Show us the law and we'll pay it. He's got it here. He's going to submit to you.
Yeah.
He just wants you to show him the law.
Yeah.
They didn't show him the law. They threw him in prison. They tortured him and his wife. Apparently, some accounts say that when they arrested him finally, they put him in to interrogation rooms separately. And then somehow, magically, tear gas was put in through the ventilation system.
Jesus Christ. I mean, you could even look at the Brady incidents. Multiple incidents, mind you, involving the Bradys and their land. And then those, although we can't talk about it in the same breath as Ruby Ridge and Waco because those ended fairly peacefully.
Well, the Brady family were the ones that took over that.
They took over that preserve.
Yeah.
Nature preserve.
They didn't talk about it in the news too much, but they all got acquitted for that.
Yeah, every last one of them got acquitted, okay? But that one ended better.
Yeah, because they know, it's a lot harder to cover your shit up today.
Well,
Randy Weaver didn't have a fucking cell phone that could record in high def.
Exactly. Then you've got, killing his son, a 14-year-old boy. I don't care if he's armed or not.
Right. What about the younger kids that sat in there and had to watch their brother and their mom get killed, and then for the next 10 days, Vicky, come on out, we got blueberry pancakes, yeah. Vicky. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, never underestimate what your government really has at heart.
No.
Never, ever do that.
Just to go further down the road for anybody, with the tax issue, you can watch a documentary on YouTube called America, Freedom to Fascism, I think is what it's called. And in that, they delve into the federal income tax. And it starts with this lawyer who's, working for the IRS at the time. And he's sitting down, whatever lawyers do on their lunch break. And he's sipping his coffee, reading the paper. He sees an advert in the paper that says $50,000 reward to anybody that can prove there's a law requiring the individual citizen to pay federal income tax. And he's like, got this shit. I'm a fucking lawyer for the IRS. Yeah. So he went to work, started looking, was like, I can't find it. Yeah. So he started asking his higher-ups, and they were like, leave it alone. Leave it well enough alone, my dude. He didn't leave it well enough alone, so they fired him. Yeah. So now he works for some tax organization trying to fight the fact that, basically, this documentary boiled down into its homeopathic remedy is the only bit of wording on the IRS statute for an individual to pay a federal income tax is one simple line inside a phone book of regulations that says voluntary compliance, and it was started to fund World War I as a voluntary 1% tax.
Yeah.
Voluntary means that you can do it,
You
or you don't have to.
Yeah.
And there's still voluntary, because if you don't voluntarily pay it, they're going to lock your ass up.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, you pay it, or they're going to have men with guns that come and abduct you. And if you resist the abduction, they're going to shoot you in the head.
Oh, yeah.
They might shoot your wife in the head and then ask, you for the next 10 days if you want blueberry pancakes. I mean,
They're motherfuckers, man.
it's heavy.
Yeah.
Now that we've said all these things and I'm connected to Wi-Fi, they're going to kick your fucking door down.
Yeah.
They're never going to be seen again.
Yeah. They're gonna hear about the incident in southwestern Ohio.
Right.
Some podcasts will be talking about it.
They'll probably get us before we upload it, and it'll just be two former individuals from Ohio that were caught with a kiddie porn ring.
Say, yeah, they'll make us pedophiles.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the easiest way to, like...
They had literally terabytes of pedophile materials. They were also shooting heroin at the same time into each other's arms as they had male hookers.
And killed puppies.
Yeah. They had male hookers engaging in sex acts while they killed puppies.
Drowning puppies in small pools of water.
Oh, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's whatever.
Took me a minute to get inside today because I was trying to park around that slew of donut trucks that are parked out front of your house. I've never noticed them there before. It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Now that we got that out of our system.
Heavy topics. They make me upset, but it's not nearly as bad as talking about clover genders.
Yeah. But, so... I think the next thing we're going to talk about is this gem sent to us by our lovely omnipotent angel being, Katie Doherty, sent us asking us about personal paranormal experiences. And, I've got a few of them. I know you do too.
Yeah.
Anybody that I can't say that, like, everybody's had one. A lot of people don't believe in them. But, I don't like talking about my work. But it's one of those places where a lot of suffering, a lot of anger, a lot of hate happens. And, definitely, I worked there third shift. It has some problems.
Yeah. What about your stint at Houston Woods there?
OOOWEEE. There was a few things that went on there, too. Trying to get into a good story about Houston Woods. I'd say the best one was one night I was walking through the hallway, and this is the middle of winter, mind you, so there's not really that many people there, not many guests. And as you're walking to the bathroom, there's like this little small banquet area.
Yeah.
And usually they have these partitions that are closed unless there's people in there. And I'm walking past, and it's dark, and it's like raining outside. It's like lightning and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk past, and I look over, and I see someone just standing in the dark in the ballroom.
What you doing?
And I keep walking, but then I think, I better tell this guy he's really not supposed to be in there right now. Because he really wasn't supposed to be. So, and it was, mind you, all the partitions were closed except one. It was open, and somebody's just standing in the middle of the ballroom. So I turn around, walk back, and as I walk in, there's nobody there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just some dead guy looking out at the lake.
Yeah.
No problem. When they disappear, though, that means their attention's focused on you.
Ooh. And here's the thing, like, Houston Woods has a checkered history of death.
Yeah. Suicide cabins.
Yeah, suicide cabins, suicide
Drownings.
rooms, people accidentally dying drunk, and one time, there was like some sort of convention of law enforcement there, and one of them was so drunk he fell off the balcony of his room and hit head first on concrete.
Ooh-wee.
And, his friends, instead of, doing the right thing, they went up to the lobby and got a wheelchair, and then put him in said wheelchair and wheeled him back to his room.
Man.
Yeah.
Call the ambulance.
Yeah.
Shit.
I tell you, one time, this was like 2 years ago, me and my girl, we went out there for our anniversary. We were going to stay at a cabin. And mind you, the suicide cabin, there's 2 or 3 of them. There's not just one.
Yeah.
So we're staying in there, and I didn't know if it was a suicide cabin or not. It's hard saying.
They changed everything, right?
Yeah, they changed all the furniture, everything. And they even changed the numbers around so people can't hone in on which one it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we stay there. And I have to say, it was probably one of the most restless nights of sleep I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
There was something there.
Psychic rape.
Like, I've never slept so poorly in a long time. I was literally awake every half hour. And swore to God, there was I could hear people talking in the living room. And, My girlfriend was the same way. She couldn't hardly get any sleep. We were both just freaked out. We woke up the next morning and we're like, fuck this. Let's go home and sleep.
Yeah, let's go to our house.
Yeah.
Fuck this noise.
Because, I mean, it's for real. I mean, the place I'm living at now, we've had a couple little going-ons. Like, because here's the thing, though. At the end of the day, I believe there's really two types of, like, paranormal, ghostly experiences.
Mm-hmm.
There's the kind that might spook you, but it doesn't, like...
It
doesn't jar you, make you feel like you're in danger.
Yeah.
And those are okay, and that's the kind we're kind of experiencing right now. A poltergeist, more or less.
Yeah.
One that doesn't really mean harm. It just does little things every once in a while, just to put a little, raise the hair on the back of your neck.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't feel insidious.
It gets off to your excitement.
Now, there is the other type, though. There's the insidious type.
Yeah.
The type that makes you feel like you're in danger, or that you're sick, or makes you feel weird ways. You know, emotionally speaking.
That's what I had in my old apartment.
Yeah.
We stayed in this, I used to live in this older apartment in Mille Gratis, and all these buildings in the center of town are, like, built in the fucking 1800s, so who knows what all's happened in these places, but, sum this up, basically, my ex at the time worked third shift, and I worked, second shift, so I would come home, and she would be gone sometimes. Well, one day, our paths crossed. She was all freaked out when I got home. I was like, what's going on? And she said she was sitting on the couch, and she heard kids running behind her. Like, you know, she could feel the movement. Basically, a kid was giggling and running up the hallway behind the couch and stopped. So she, like, looked back there. There's nothing back there. And I'm thinking, like, okay, well, there's kids that live downstairs, so probably just freaked yourself out. And then, like, you know, a couple days later, I'm in bed, and she's just coming in, I think, from work in the morning. So I'm getting ready to get up for work. She's getting ready to go to bed, and she leans in the closet to grab something, and a drop ceiling tile just fell on her head. You know, they're in place. They're not, like, sitting in a jar or anything.
Yeah.
So that was weird. And then, like, fast forward another couple days, and I'm home by myself, sipping a nice, you know, gin and juice on the couch, watching some Netflix, and I hear and feel running from the hallway come up behind the couch and, like, tap the couch. So I fucking jump up off the couch. What the fuck was that? Nothing. So now I'm freaked out. And then, you know, fast forward again to later on down the road when I can't sleep anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I'll lay down, I'll be tired as fuck. As soon as I get home, I lay down. It's like my skin gets prickly. I'm, like, itchy. I can't breathe. The room's hot. The air's thick. So I start literally, like, in Constantine, that fucking priest that's trying to protect himself from the voices. I'm just drinking alcohol in order to self-induce a snooze. And then I start waking up in the fucking bathtub. You know? What the fuck are you talking about? In cold water.
Yeah.
So then, like, you know, I'm like a cat holding myself up out of the water by all fours, draining the water out. And I then turn the hot water on to try and warm my fucking corpse-like body up. And I can't get hot water to come out of the fucking thing.
Oh, jeez.
Brand new hot water heater, you know? So we'd had all we could have of this after a while, and called this local pastor to come in and do his little prayer work. He comes in, and he's like, I gotta tell you, I've been here before. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You've been here before. Now, the guy that lived there before had mysteriously come down with cancer and a heroin addiction.
Jesus.
So I guess they called, before his heroin addiction, they called to have him come pray for him before he went in for his chemo. And as soon as the pastor got there, they said he just freaked out. He ran to the bedroom. And he would not come out. So the pastor thought that was weird and did his prayer work and then left. That guy was under some kind of influence of some sort of thing that did not want to be around a pastor. So he's doing this prayer work, and my phone starts freaking out. Starts vibrating. I turned it off. It won't stop vibrating. The door slams in the hallway. He goes around and crosses every doorway, prays. Everything stopped, right?
Yeah.
Everything went away. Fast forward again to later date. I went back into that apartment for a party somebody else that lived there was having, and hung out. I passed out on the couch, woke up in the bathtub.
Shut the fuck up.
Serious. Real life story.
Shit.
I got the fuck out of there, never went back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't doubt that it's real, man. It's definitely...
No, there's something there.
Pioneer, what was it? Settlers Church and Cemetery?
Oh, yeah.
Imhoff Road?
Yeah, you ever want to take a trek down to possibly one of the freakiest places you'll ever visit?
What do we tell them for a Google search?
Look up Pioneer Cemetery, and I'd say look up Oxford, Ohio, and you should find. Let me make sure that actually works. Yeah, okay. It's the Indian Creek Metro Park Pioneer Church. Look it up.
Go out there.
Go out there. Go out there during the day first. You're not really supposed to go there at night. It's against the law.
Yeah, they say it's against the law. We can't advocate that you break the law, but we can say that we hypothetically did it.
Yeah.
A couple times.
A number of times.
And every time was terrifying.
Yeah. Every time at night, even during the day, there is something off back there. It's that, like I said, there's the spooky, kind of scary paranormal stuff, but then there's the stuff that makes you feel like there is something seriously wrong. And the Pioneer Cemetery makes you feel like there is something seriously wrong up there. Go take a look at it. I know I feel like I've been a tour guide before for that site, and I've taken people up there a number of times. I've taken pictures up there before. And if I can find them, I'll post them to our page.
That'd be sweet.
I went up there, this was about 2 years ago, me and my girlfriend, and we had a camera with us, and we were taking pictures. And there's an old church up there. And I walked up to the window of the church because it was locked, and I started taking pictures inside the church. And as I'm taking pictures, I feel something like graze the back of my neck. And I run.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh. I looked at her. I was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
This.
So we fucking get back in the car and we're driving home. And I start looking at the pictures I was taking. And when I get to the pictures where I was looking inside the church taking pictures, the last 2 pictures I took, you can see a figure standing behind me. And I looked through the picture. I tried to figure out what the hell the figure would have been. Maybe, I can you could see my reflection in the mirror, in the window. And you could see my whole figure. You could see my arm. You could see the camera.
Mm.
And you could see trees behind me, and then you see a cloaked figure.
You know what it was?
What was it?
The devil.
The devil. But the last 2 pictures I took, there's one where he's further away, and then the last picture I took, he's right behind me. Yep. And I think that's when, because as soon as I took that last click, that's when I felt the brush behind my neck. And even in the pictures before that, there is a picture that looks like there is a human being sprawled out on the floor of that church.
That's fine. That's normal. It's fine. It's good.
So go take a look. Indian Creek Metro Park Pioneer Church. I mean, it's historical. So even if you don't have any paranormal experiences, you'll still get to see a piece of history.
It's history.
Yeah.
Yay.
But, I mean, this place, it defies all logic. Because you go up there virtually any time of year, right now even, and it's probably going to be 10 degrees warmer up there than it is anywhere else. I've gone in the dead, fall before, when it's 40 degrees out. You go back up there, it's 70, the trees still have leaves on them.
Yeah.
It's, humid.
It's probably some scientific thing, that's completely normal. It's like geothermal heat from the gates of hell.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Something like that.
It's fine.
That place defies logic.
I remember when you took me there, I think it was the first time, and I had a flashlight. We're all kind of moving as a group. Some of us are kind of going out of the group. We're just stumbling around looking at stuff. And as I'm scanning the trees, this happened 4 times while we were there. And I look, scanning tree, person. But what?
Yeah.
You look back, it's a dude in a cloak. I can still vividly remember. Everything is covered from his nose down to his chest, so you can see his collarbone, and then black robe, and then forearms that are extended out, showing his palms. And I look at it for a second, I flash the light on it. As I flash the light on, it disappears. So I'm like, well, maybe I'm fucked up, and maybe I've been drinking.
Yeah.
And that was whatever. That happened 4 times.
Yeah.
Same exact figure, disappeared with a flashlight.
And then, I remember one occasion where we went up there, we were looking around, and we were up by the church, and I knocked on the door. You remember this?
Yeah, it knocked back, didn't it?
Yeah, it knocked back. I went, and then all of a sudden, from the other side of the door, we hear,
yeah. Nope.
No. But yeah, well, I think that about wraps it up for this episode.
It is time to pay the tax man.
Yeah, we'd like to thank you guys for listening again. Check out Ryan Simpson. Check out his albums. Check out his music.
Beautiful man.
He's a beautiful angel boy.
We hope to get him on the podcast soon.
Yeah. But yeah, like us on Facebook, share, subscribe. We say this every time. We really mean it.
Yeah. Go ahead and share us.
Yeah, share us. Share us with your family.
Take some of our YouTube things and you don't even have to share with people you know. Just take it to a random page like a how to make egg salad and post it.
Yeah.
Just bring people. You guys are the messengers of this movement.
Yeah. So, like, share, subscribe. Send us topics.
Well, we love your topics.
Because I always have to post on Facebook when it's topic time. I'll keep doing it. But if you guys just have random topics through the week that you want us to talk about, and it could be anything. You know, here lately, there's been themes, government-wise and whatnot. The paranormal. But we'll answer simpler things.
Anything.
Anything. We'll talk about anything.
Also, keep your eyes peeled to the YouTube channel. I've had a lot of people ask me about this fat loss thing that I was involved in with the keto diet. I'm going to make a video on some of that.
Sounds like a good idea.
It's a good time.
But, alright, we thank you guys for listening. We hope to hear from you next time. And we'll see you later.
We love you.
We really do.
I think I've gone crazy 'cause the world is getting dim. I fell in love with the girl, but she says we're just friends. I thought I was a boy, it turns out I'm a man. Gonna get me a canoe, gonna row to Japan. I think I've gone crazy 'cause I don't give a shit whether I crawl or whether I sit, but I'm still rowing, gonna make it someday, gonna be free, gonna be okay. Vietnam's over, we're doing fine. Vietnam's over, we're doing fine. The newspaper says everything's alright. Vietnam's over, we're doing fine. I think I've gone crazy 'cause it won't stop raining. I've begun to think lately it's 'cause I won't stop complaining. I am a voodoo doll and the world is the pin. I've got a third eye growing out of my chin. I think I've gone crazy 'cause I'm fucking confused. Today I woke up hanging from the same old noose.